Today, what we're going to go through is the next step in ratios. In ratios, we were focused in on comparing two numbers by division. A rate is now comparing two units by division. So it's very much like what we have just done, and what we did in ratios is still going to come into play. Same stuff, your order matters. Whatever's listed first goes first, whatever's listed second goes second. The difference here is, in a rate, I must have two units that I'm comparing. Now, for the rate itself, you also can keep it in a ratio format. So it's basically like putting the ratio and what it's comparing all together. But what we're going to work mostly with is what's called a unit rate. In a unit rate, we have a denominator of 1. So you can have one number, but because it's a rate, I will always have two units. One you're going to see is a specialized rate is called a unit price. Unit price is just how much of something you get for $1. In both the unit rate and unit price cases, whatever I start with in my denominator is what I'm going to divide by to get it down to 1. So it makes it pretty simple. We're going to give you a couple of different formats for being able to solve these, and we'll go through those in the lessons today. I do apologize. I don't have any examples here in our notes today, but we'll get plenty of practice as we go through the module pieces. First off, if we're solving a rate problem, the first thing you want to do is set the rate up so that the initial ratio has the units listed in that order. You then simplify the number portion as much as possible. The easy way, divide both numbers by whatever your denominator is. If you are doing comparisons, you can then an easier way to do it is just simplify as much as possible using your 4 key numbers, 2, 3, 5, and 7, and then you can cross multiply. Remember to multiply from bottom to top and write it down on that side, because that's going to tell you which side is bigger, which side is smaller. If you're going to eliminate units, and this happens mostly when we're doing unit conversions, stuff like going from inches to miles, or pounds to ounces, or meters to kilometers. In those cases, what you're going to do, or one way that we're going to show you to do that, is you write your initial rate with the unit you're eliminating on the bottom. I'm then going to multiply by the unit that I'm getting rid of. That now equals 1. I've got 1 on top, 1 on bottom, meaning they are going to be crossed out. After you've done that, you're going to find the answer. It'll tell you if you're going to divide or multiply, but make sure that whatever unit is left is written on your answer. In this one, guys, units truly matter. I need to know, are you talking miles, kilometers, pounds, ounces? It makes a difference. So if all I see, and this is especially important when we get into the quizzes and tests, if all I see is a number, when you are doing units or unit rates, you're getting at most half credit. Unit rate is all about the units. So if I don't have them listed, my answer is going to be wrong. The other way we're going to do this, and this is honestly a kickback to Miss Caruana, she absolutely loves proportions. Literally probably her favorite thing in math. And so we're also going to show you how to do this, just setting up proportionalities, because we're going to work a lot with proportions, honestly, for the remainder of the year. To do that, what you're going to do is you're going to write the first rate as a fraction. Make sure you include your units while you're writing it out. You're going to put down an equal sign. Then you're going to, on the other side, write the other piece of information, again as a rate, with your units listed in the same order, top and bottom, and then you're going to be given one of those two pieces of information. You put that one in. Next you have to do is figure out, how did you get from the one number on the left you know to the number on the right that you know? And it's all multiplication or division, guys. Did I multiply or divide? What did I multiply or divide by? That gives you what we call the mystery box. And I'll show you the mystery box when we start doing some examples. But basically, whatever you did on the bottom goes in the mystery box. So if I multiply by 4, my mystery box gets times 4, and that's what I do on the other side. And then that's going to get you your last number, your last piece of the puzzle. Make sure, again, though, that you include your units with your answer. Okay? So this might seem a little muddled right now. That's okay, because once we get into the examples, this will all start to make a lot more sense to you. That being said, let's go ahead and turn in our modules. Turn in our modules to page Remember what page we're on? I want to say 60. Where did my task go? Okay, everybody should be on page 67. Here's what we're doing. Ratios can be transformed to rates and unit rates. So we're going to start with a relatively easy example to let you guys kind of see the process. So Diet Cola was on sale last week. It cost $10 for every 4 packs of Diet Cola. How much do 2 packs of Diet Cola cost? I'll be honest, most of you can probably already give me that answer. That's awesome, but let's look at the process that we go through so that as the numbers get harder, you'll be able to do this. So our process is $10 for every 4 packs of soda. That is my initial rate. So 10 to 4 in dollar per pack. We're going to do the proportion method first. So it's going to equal, and I have to give a second piece of information. In this case, they gave us 2 packs. So do you think that's going to go on top or on bottom? Bottom. Bottom. Makes sense, right? That's part of the reason we put the units down, guys, because it makes filling in that missing piece of information even easier. Here's where our mystery box comes in that I talked about. Okay? So you just put that box above the equal sign. This is going to tell you what you're doing. You need to look at the numbers to figure out what has happened. Remember, when we are dealing with proportions, I'm only talking multiplying and dividing. So don't try to add and subtract. That's not going to work for you. But multiplying or dividing, how do I get from 4 down to 2? What do you think? What? By 2. So my magic box gets a divided by 2. The magic box is telling me what I'm going to be doing. So once I've done that on the bottom, I also need to do that on the top. So 10 divided by 2 is going to give me what? 5. Do not forget your units. That is actually critical. We have dollars here. Make sure we put dollars on our units for this side. Now, because it's a word problem, we'll answer in a full sentence. It would cost $5. Pretty simple, right? Everybody feel okay on that one? Yeah. Okay, let's take it another step. Now, here's where we get to a unit rate. Remember what we said about a unit rate? It has a denominator of 1. So now we're going to say, how much does 1 pack of Diet Cola cost? So I'm going to take my $5 for 2 packs, but now I'm going to say it goes down to 1 pack. I can again put my magic box in here. How do I go from 2 to 1? Michael? Divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, right? So what is 5 divided by 2? Good, 2.5. Because it's money, I will also put a 0 in there. $2.50. So 1 pack costs $2.50. That's a 1. So, could we have gotten to the unit cost off of the first one? Yes. Yes, I would have just divided by
2.
4. Because my denominator was 4. Whatever my denominator is 4, if I want to get to a unit cost, that's what I'm going to divide by. Make sense?
Sure.
So the notes make a little more sense now you see it in action?
Yes.
Pretty simple, isn't it? So let's look at another one. Tegan went to Gamer Realm to buy new video games. The Gamer Realm was having a sale. $65 for 4 video games. He bought 3 games for himself and 1 game for his friend Diego, but Tegan does not know how much Diego owes him for the 1 game. What is the unit price of the video games? In other words, what does that 1 game he gave his friend cost? We're going to cross this out, guys. Rate unit is something that in the Engage New York came up with that, I'll be honest, I don't agree with. I think it gets super confusing and doesn't really do anything. It's just the rate. Okay? In other words, what the units are for it. So let's look at our unit price. Again, start with our initial rate, which was what? $65
for 4 video games.
Good. Here's the difference between ratios and rates, guys. In a ratio, all I care about was the numbers. In a rate, I've got to include the units. Make sense?
Yes.
So that's the step that we're taking. Make sure you include our units for 4 games. And I want to know the unit rate, meaning it's going to go down to 1. Now I need to figure out the top piece of this. So my magic box, how do I go from 4 to 1?
Divide by 4.
Divide by 4. Pretty simple, right? Okay, so now I have to divide 65 by 4. And I'll be honest, some of these numbers, guys, aren't the greatest. Remember, we're dealing with money, so everything is going to go to most 3 decimal places and you'll round. But overall, it's really not so bad. So it's going to go 1 time here. Subtract 4 gives me a 2. 25 is going to go 6 times. 24 gives me a 1. I'm not done yet, so I add a decimal and a 0. The 0 comes down. 4 goes into 10 twice. Gives me an 8. Still not at 0, so I can add another 0 and bring it down. 4 goes into 25. Now it's finally at a 0. If it wasn't at a 0, I'd go 1 more space, and then I could round, okay? Because we're talking about money. So what was my unit price? $16.25. So what is the unit price? The unit price is $16.25 per game. And guys, a lot of times when we're talking about unit price or unit rate, we're going to say per something, for whatever it is. That's where we get that second unit. Yes. Do you pay $16.04? Do you?
No, it's like $70 for 1 year.
Because it's money, I wouldn't. If it wasn't money, I'd be okay with it. But guys, we had a really good question here. He said, "Can I just make that into a fraction?" If it wasn't money, I'd be okay with 16 1/4. But because it's specifically money, we need to do the decimal places. Make sense? Okay, go ahead and turn your page. Go to page 4.
Page 4.
Or page 68. Page 4 in my slideshow stage.
Okay.
Woo, go to Z. Woo.
Okay. All right. 4 football fans took turns driving the distance from New York to Oklahoma to see a big game. Look, each driver set the cruise control during his or her portion of the trip, enabling him or her to travel at a constant speed. The group changed drivers each time they stopped for gas and recorded their driving times and distances in the table below. Okay, we're going to use this chart, guys, to answer these questions. First, it says, what 2 quantities, here's my question, what 2 quantities are being compared? What's being compared?
Oh, distance and time.
Good. Distance and time. Very good. Very good. Distance and time are being compared. And what are they measured in? Good. They are measured. Am I going to put miles or hours first?
You're going to put miles first, then hours.
Wait. Why?
Because
No,
distance
what?
is you're going to put distance.
Right, so I'm going to put miles, right? Just like you said. They are measured in, good, Zach. In miles and hours because distance is listed first. Very good. Okay. What is the ratio of the 2 quantities for Andre's portion of the trip? Then it asks, what is the associated rate? So first we need to give the ratio, guys, and then the rate. Okay? The ratio is what we've been doing. So here's Andre, and here are my 2 pieces of data. Yes, sir.
So it would be 52 to 1. What?
Okay, wait a second.
Whoa there, what?
Ooh, all right, good. Okay, you went ahead and simplified it. Okay, but just given what we know here, what would my ratio be?
2 to 8 to 4.
Good. I like what he did there. He's working ahead. Okay. All right. Now, how am I going to find my rate? How am I going to find my rate? Let's talk about, we're talking about miles per hour, correct? Okay. But he's going how many miles and how many hours?
4 hours. 4 hours.
And how many miles?
208.
Good. 208 miles.
252?
No, I screwed up.
Wait a second. Hold on. In 4 hours. Okay, guys, when you set up
I thought you were talking
problems like this, you need to watch your units. You know that miles is going to be on top. You have to keep it consistent, and then hours is going to be on the bottom. All right. So we're trying to know how many miles he goes in what?
1 hour.
1 hour, right?
So it'd be 52.
1 hour.
Bro, chill.
So how did I go? How did I go from 4 to 1 right here?
You divided by 4.
By 4. Good. Divide by 4, and that gives you what? So I'm dividing 208 divided by 4 gives you
54.
52. Hey!
2 times 4 is 8.
I know, it's
4 times 4 is
52. Come on, big brain.
big brain.
We'll go
Okay.
waffles.
All right. So here you go. So Andre drives 52 miles per hour. Oh. There we go.
Head spot.
Yep, we're gonna have to keep moving.
Yeah.
What car are they driving?
Okay.
Pretty fast.
All right. I'll wait. till you're ready right here. Okay. Answer the same 2 questions for the other 3 drivers. And guys, I can't see the chart, so you're gonna have to tell me Mateo's ratio. We want the ratio first. What is it, Avery?
456 and 8.
Okay, 456 to 8. Okay, so 456 miles in 8 hours. So I want the rate. So 456 miles, 8 hours, and I want to know how much or how far he goes in 1 hour. This is an 8. There.
Divided by 4.
Wait.
Hang on,
What, Mary? Divided by 8. I went from 8 to 1. Divide by 8.
Dividing by 8.
That's big.
456 divided by 8.
Equals. My big brain isn't working. I'm doing no.
Not
Is he right?
Wait, hang on. Yeah.
No, I get in trouble when I listen to you guys. I just write it down, and sometimes it's not correct.
I need a
Mark,
calculator.
do you agree? What did you get? So we agree. Is it Wyatt?
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree. It is 57, guys. Good. 57 miles.
57.
Good. So, Mateo,
57 miles in 8 hours?
no? 57 miles in 1 hour. Okay.
Whoa. I know.
All right. Janae's ratio. Let's look at the ratio. What is her ratio? What is her ratio, Mark? 300 to 6. I'm going to stop right here. And if I need to stop the recording, I can. All right. Okay, so now we're going to find out her rate. 300 miles over 6 hours. Okay, so we're going to find out how many miles she drives in 1 hour. Okay, so how did I go from 6 to 1?
Divided by 6.
Divided by 5. What?
Divide by 6.
Divide by 6.
Wait, no, you divided by 5. Minutes when I wanted 6. That's subtracting.
Okay, you divide it by 6. So what is 300 divided by 6? Curry. Okay, 50 miles.
You look good.
Okay,
Thank you.
Janae drives 50 miles in 1 hour. All right, Grayson's ratio. Grayson's ratio. Oh, is Marco with the nose over here?
Oh, wait.
Avery, his ratio. Okay, 265 to 5. Good. 265 to 5. So I'm going to set up, right, Zach? Am I going to do the same thing here?
Yes.
Yes. 265 miles in 5 hours. Okay? And I want to know how far he goes in 1 hour. All right? So how am I going to do this, Mark? Divide by 5. So I went 5 to 1 is divide by 5. That's how I got there. So I'm going to take 265 divided by 5, and what does that give me? Okay. So Grayson drives 53 miles. Oh, that's bad. Per hour. Okay, we're not doing rate unit. Okay, and guys, this is just asking you to circle the unit rate, which is all of these that we found. 50 miles, 53 miles, I think it was 52.
Yeah, you got that.
Okay, all right. Any questions so far on how to find that? Any questions on the difference in ratio and rate? Okay.
Yes.
You're just playing now because you didn't even finish
What are you
that.
talking about? I
No.
totally finished.
Okay. Next page. Let's look at this. Yes. Wait.
It's the same. There's another problem.
Oh.
There
There is?
No, there's not.
No. Yeah, wait. I just said, sweetheart, I just said circle the unit rate, and I said there was a 52 up here. I didn't have it far enough down. I said, but remember Mr. Moore said we're not doing rate unit right here, so we'll cross that out.
Oh, my bad.
Okay?
We are sorry for.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, let's go to the next one.
I know.
Okay,
Guys,
right here. A publishing company is looking for new employees to type novels that will soon be published. The publishing company wants to find someone who can type at least 45 words per minute. Dominique discovered she can type at a constant rate of 704 words in 16 minutes. Does Dominique type at a fast enough rate to qualify for the job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
Okay? Explain why or why not. All right, first of all, what do we need to set up? What do we know, Courtney?
No. So we know you have to do 48 words per minute. So
Wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. You can't see that. Yeah, that's 45. Okay.
And then, so then we put 704 and 16 into a ratio.
Okay, why?
Because so we can make it into a rate.
Okay, right. So we know what she can do. She can do 704 words in 16 minutes. She's trying to get a job, Zach, right? She's trying to get this job with this company. And they say, look, I need you to type, yeah, she's ready to make some money. I need you to type 45 words per minute. Can she? She said, I can do 704 words in 16 minutes. And so they have to do a quick calculation. Is she okay to hire for this job?
No.
Yes.
Is she qualified?
Wait, no.
Hang on, let me
Yes.
think about this.
Wait.
Wait.
So I'm going to go with what Courtney said. We know she can do 704 words
At least 45 per minute.
in 16 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay, and what am I looking for? What am I looking for?
She can type 45 words in a minute.
So we want to know how much she can do in 1 minute, right? We don't know if she can type 45 words in 1 minute.
No.
No, that's what they want her to do, right? That's what they want. How many can she type in 1 minute?
No.
So how did I go from 16 to 1?
Divided by 16.
Very good, sir. Divide by 16. So I need to take 704 divided by 16. See what you get, Mark? You're on it. 40. Oh. What? Say it again. And what does she need? Zach, what does she need? Zach, what does she need?
45.
Is she okay? Is she qualified?
No.
By one word.
I mean, it was probably letter in it. It depends how long the words are.
Dominique types, right? 44 words per minute.
Wait, what page we on?
nose hurts.
What page we on? We on 69?
Everybody has to say sorry to.
Dominique types 44 words per minute. She needed to type 45 words per minute. Yep.
Oh, I thought it was light. Why would she need a light?
Keep your right words in the minute.
What does it say? She is not fast enough?
I don't have 69. Sure, buddy.
I literally just said to Zachary, I'm like, well, what if someone could only type 44 words and then that popped up?
And then, like, proof.
Big brain proof.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Yeah, because I didn't have my. I put my module up.
I have a big brain.
Okay. Good job. Any questions on that? She was one word.
Well, do you think they would still accept her?
Yeah, they would still accept her. That would be tough.
I would have.
Imagine if you.
I would have. They would probably try to do what?
Now, guys, I don't know if you know how they do this, but when they're doing a typing test like this, they actually have a 3-step paragraph that normally includes all 26 letters in the alphabet. That you have to be able to type all of the words. So no, typing IA, space in between. When that counts, that's 46.
Oh, that would actually be really fun.
Okay, we're on page 76. Let's go through and actually do a couple story problems where we're going to have to pull the rates out to answer them. So our first one, if Funburger the Burger Master can make hamburgers at a rate of 4 burgers per minute. In order to address the heavy volume of customers, he needs to continue at this rate for 30 minutes. If he continues to make hamburgers at this pace, how many hamburgers does Burger Master make in 30 minutes? There's our question. Okay, so I'm going to show you kind of both ways to do this one. The first one, which I think a lot of you are getting used to, is setting it up as a rate to start with. So he does 4 burgers, and if I don't see a number, what is it? Kind of ruined it since I already wrote it up there.
Yeah.
1. And I know he's going to do this. Here's another part of the reason we need to write the units, guys. Because if I've got the units written, I know exactly what 30 minutes goes, don't I?
Yeah.
Makes it simple, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So don't get lazy on me, and this is going to be super easy for you. So that's going to be 30 minutes. So I put my mystery box up. How do I go from 1 to 30?
You multiply by 30.
Lady? Multiply by 30. So 4 times 30 is going to give me. Okay, guys? Do not forget your units. Okay? 120 burgers.
Yes, sir.
Now, the other way that I was going to show you to do this, if I want to find the number of burgers, here's how we do this. I do 4 burgers per minute times the unit I need to get rid of. I need to get rid of minutes, so that's going to go on the bottom in the first one, on the top in the second. Okay, because it's on the bottom, minutes divided by minutes is what? I'll give you a hint. What's 8 divided by 8?
1.
What's 10 divided by 10?
1.
What's 20 divided by 20?
1.
What's a million divided by a million?
1.
What's minutes divided by minutes?
Minutes.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Guys, hold on. Quiet down. Quiet. We need to go through this again. What's 8 divided by 8? What's 10 divided by 10? What's 20 divided by 20? What's a million divided by a million? What's minutes divided by minutes? Why are we changing? If I divide something by itself, what does it equal? 1. Does it matter if it's numbers or units? No. So, minutes divided by minutes is 1, so I can actually cross them out, because if I do 1 times anything, I get 1. So what that leaves me now is 4 times 30 gives me 120. The only unit left is burgers.
Oh, burgers.
I'll give you guys the credit of being behind me. You didn't see that burgers was still left.
Oh, burgers are still left.
Yeah, I haven't crossed them out. Minutes get crossed out. Burgers are left. So what is my answer? Guys, please quiet down. This table is going to get split up really quick because this is not working. I mean, we're recording right here beside you guys. The people at home that are trying to listen to this lesson are having to deal with this. That's not going to happen. So you got 2 choices. Quit it, or we'll just separate you back out. Make sense? Thank you. Okay, let's look at our second problem on this one. Chandra is an editor at the New York Gazette. Her job is to read each article before it is printed in the newspaper. If Chandra can read 10 words per second, how many words can she read in 60 seconds? There's our question. So again, we can do it either way. I can start off and I say, okay, she's doing 10 words per second. That means 1. Multiply by the 60 seconds. So that tells me that I'm getting rid of them. Seconds divided by seconds is not 1, so those go away. 10 times 60 gives me 600. The unit left is words. The other way that I can do this is what we've been doing up to this point, doing this as a ratio. 10 words in 1 second equals, and I know I'm going to 60 seconds. Okay, how do I go from 1 to 60? What's in my mystery box?
60.
Times 60. 10 times 60 gives me 600. The unit on top is words. Either one of those works, guys. Okay, multiplying to get rid of the unit or doing the ratio.
Super fast.
But either way, guys, come on now. You have done really well all year up to this point. I don't know what's going on today, but this needs to stop now. So Chandra can read 600 words in 60 seconds. Questions on these? You guys starting to understand the whole rate piece? I hope so, because now is our chance to practice. Okay, these are going to be timed. You only have 1 minute to do it. If you'll turn to the next page, you're going to see you've got, whoops, let's skip 2 pages, 3 pages. You've got 6 blocks. Your first block is going to be working for this first problem. Okay? I'm about to turn the slide. The downside is you can't mark the text on this, so you have to be able to pull these numbers out. But you'll be given 1 minute to solve this problem.
1 minute.
Here it is.
Oh God, that's scary.
1 minute. Begin.
Keep glitching.